Hello everyone, this is Asghar Nazir. In this video we will discuss about the while loops. What are they, why we need them, and how to write a while loop. While loop is a way to repeat the instructions until a condition is met. For example, keep getting the data from the user until the user enters -1, or keep printing the numbers until a condition is met, or print first 10 numbers on the console or first 100 numbers on the console without actually copying and pasting the println statement 10, 100 or 1000 times inside your editor. So why should we use while loops? While loops help us avoid that code duplication. For example, if you are given a task to print hello world 10 times on the console, one way of doing this task is that we can copy paste this System.out.println 10 times on the editor, and then if we run the code we will see hello world 10 times on the console. But this way is not scalable. What if we have to print hello world 1000 times? So loop is the way to go. We can write a loop, and then inside that loop we can write a condition that makes that while loop execute 1000 times, and we need to write only once this hello world inside that loop. This is the syntax. We write the while and then the condition and then the statements that we want to repeat again and again. Before we can use the while loops, we will be using this increment and decrement operators. So first let me show you a demo about these increment and decrement operators so that you can understand the loops better. Let's say I have a variable and I am calling it a number and I am storing 1 inside it. Now if I use this plus plus operator, and this is the syntax, we write the name of the variable, and after that variable we write the plus 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 operator twice. It's called plus plus. Now if I run this code, if I print out this number, I will see that the value of 1 will be increased from 1 to 2 because this plus plus, it increases the value of a variable by 1. So whatever is the value that is already present in a variable, if I write that variable name plus plus, it increases the value of that variable. So increases the value by 1. So if I run this code, I should see 2 in here. Initially the value was 1. Then we wrote number plus plus, which means increase the value of number variable by 1. So initially it was 1, and then if we increase it by 1, it will be 2. Now I can call this number variable again and again. If I do plus plus and then print out the statement again, it will be 3. So increased by 1 more time. So this is how this plus plus operator works. Whatever is the value, we can start from 10, we can start from 100, whatever is the value, it will pick the previous value and it will increase it by 1. So from 10 it will be increased to 11 first and increased to 12. Similarly, as we can increase the values of the variables, we can also decrease their value. So for example, if a number contains a value 10, and if I apply the decrement operator, this is called decrement operator. So number, and after the number we are using 2 minus signs, number minus minus. This is how we read it. So if we run this command, this number 10 will be decreased from 10 to 9. So if I print out the number 1 variable, I will see 9 on my console because I am decreasing its value by 1. So either it's increment or decrement, it only increases or decreases the value by 1 when we execute this line. So now let me show you a demo about the while loop. So let me create a class. So here I have written a piece of code that will print hello world 4 times on the console. So let me run it and let me show you the output. So we see hello world 4 times in the console. Now let's understand what is going on and how it is printing hello world 4 times on the console. First we are declaring a variable and we are calling it number, and we are storing a value 1 inside that variable. Next I am writing while, all in lowercase, then these parentheses, and inside the parentheses I have written a condition. The condition says number less than 5, then curly brackets. This curly brackets and everything inside it, it's called the body of the while loop. I am printing hello world and then I am incrementing the number. So let me debug and let me further explain how things are working. So if I debug this code, what happens? First the number variable is initialized and 1 is stored inside that variable. Then this condition is checked. Is number less than 5? Right now we have 1 in the number, so 1 is less than 5. The condition is true. So it goes inside the body of the while loop and it executes hello world on the console. Then it also increments the number. So number now will be 2. Initially it was 1. Now it has been increased to 2. Again, the condition is checked. Is condition still true? If it is true, it executes the body of the while loop again. It prints hello world and then number is increased from 2 to 3. Then again the condition is checked. So check this out. It's not how usually Java code works. Java code executes from top to bottom, but loops, they execute in circles. First, the condition is checked, and if the condition is true, the body of the while loop is executed, and then again the condition is checked. As long as the condition is true, this process keep on executing the body, checking the condition, executing the body, checking the condition. So number is increased to 3, still the condition is true, so it will print hello world on the console, and I see 3 times hello world on the console. And then it again increases the number to 4. Still 4 is less than 5, so again the condition is true, but this time the number has increased to a value of 5. This time 5 less than 5, the condition fails, and the moment the condition fails, then it stops working and the program terminates, and that's why we see 4 hello worlds on the console. So again, it checks the condition. As long as it keeps getting true, it keeps on executing whatever we put inside the body, and as soon as it gets a false inside the condition, the code stops. Let me show you another demo and it will get more clear. So it's the exact same condition, but I have changed the hello world to the number so that you can see the values of the numbers as well, how these values are changing. So if I run this code, I will see the numbers from 1 to 4 on my console. And this is how the value of number variable is changing because of this plus plus operator. So let me debug to show you in more details. So we say number, which is initially 1, then we check the condition. Is 1 less than 5? Yes, it is true. So we enter the body and then we print the value of number, which is right now 1. So we see 1 on the console. Then it increases the number by 1. So 1 increased by 1 will be 2. And then again the condition is checked. 2 less than 5? Yes, it is still true. So print the number, which is 2. And then we see 2 in here. Then again increase the number. So number will be 3. Print the number and then again increase it. So number 3 we will be getting here. And it keeps on going and keeps on printing the number unless and until the condition fails. When the value of number has been increased to 5, then it will stop because the condition will fail. So these while loops, the main crux, the main idea is about this condition. So for example, if I, instead of putting number less than 5, if I always put a true here, now I will have an infinite loop, a loop that will never stop because I am always getting a true inside the loop. So you see, it keeps on increasing and increasing the number and displays the number. These are called infinite loops, loops which continue to work. So this, as long as this while loop sees a true inside this condition, it keeps on working, and the moment it sees a false here, it stops working. So for example, if I initially put a false here, this loop will never work. It will not even work for once because the condition is true and the condition is always checked first. So these conditions can be in the form of numbers, the conditions can be in the form of booleans, relational operators, whatever you have learned previously which returns a true or false, all of that can be used inside these parentheses for the condition. And then we can write any Java statement inside this loop. So I see the numbers from 1 to 9 because I changed the condition number less than 10 here. Let me show you one more example and things will get better. Here, let's say I'm starting my loop from 2 and I only want to print the even number. So I am now showing you an example in which we can write any piece of code inside the body of the loop. If I say number %2 is equal to 0, which means this number is an even number, and now if we print it inside here, so we will be getting all the even numbers from 2 to 8. Let me explain how it is working. Let me place a debug point here and then debug the code. So again, first a number is initialized and the value 2 is stored inside it. Then the condition is checked. Is 2 less than 10? Yes, the condition is true. So it enters inside the body. And inside the body, it sees an if condition. Again, another condition which says number modulus 2. So if we divide this 2 by 2, the remainder will be 0 and this condition is true. So we enter and print that number. That number is increased from 2 to 3. This time 3 less than 10, this condition is still true. So again we check the if condition inside the while loop. This if one fails because 3%2 is not equal to 0 and we don't do anything except increasing the number inside the body, and then we check the condition again. Is 4 modulus 2 less equal to 0? Yes, it is. So again we print the number. So we see 2 and then 4 and then the number is increased again. So number is now 5. Is 5 less than 10? Yes, the condition is still true. Is 5 modulus 2 is equal to 0? No. So we again don't print the number 5, and that's how we keep on going and we get all the numbers from 2 to 8 inside this loop. Now let me also show you how to print the numbers in the reverse order. And this time let's start the loop from initialize the loop from 10 and the number is greater than 0, and then we are printing it and then we are decreasing the number. So how things working here, we initially have the number 10. The condition that we are checking is number greater than 0. As long as the number is greater than 0, this loop will continue to work, and the moment this condition fails, this loop will break, this loop will stop. Then we are printing that number and then we are decreasing the number in every iteration. So if I run this code, I will see all the numbers from 10 to 1. And now let's debug this code to understand why we got the numbers from 10 to 1. So place the debug point and then debug. So initially number is 10. 10 greater than 0, yes, condition is true. We enter the body of the while loop and then we print the number 10. So that's why we see the number 10 here. Then the number is decremented because we are using decrement operator here, minus. So from 10 it will be decremented to 9. Then again the condition is checked. Is 9 greater than 0? Yes, it is greater than 0 still. So again the number 9 is printed on the console and it is decreased further. So now it is 8. Again printed, decreased, again printed, decreased. When the value of number will be 1, again it is still true, print and decrease it further. So from 1 it will be decreased to 0. This time the condition fails because 0 is not greater than 0 anymore. So we exit the loop and the program terminates. So here we have seen numbers from 10 to 1. Now there are some common mistakes that students make. For example, one common mistake is they forget to decrease the number. If we do that and if we run this code, we will get an infinite loop, a loop that will never stop. So make sure that when you are writing the code, you are incrementing or decrementing this. Either the students, they forget this or they put it outside of the loop like this, outside of the curly brackets. Again, if we do something like this, one more mistake that students make is that if they are printing the number in a decreasing order, instead of using decrement operator, they use the increment operator, or the other way around. Again, it will also give us an infinite loop because the number will always be greater than 0. This condition will never fail. Let me show you why we get an infinite loop. So if I debug this code, number is initially 10. Number 10 is greater than 0. So the condition is true. We print the number and then we increment the number. So number is increased to 11. 11 still greater than 0. We increase it again. We get 12. So all the numbers, because we are increasing the number, they will always be greater than 0 and this condition will always be true and this loop will never end. So we have to avoid these kind of situations to write a perfect loop. I hope you have liked this video. I will see you in the next video and don't forget to subscribe. Bye bye.